This program is brought to you by Graysons Overseas.
नमस्कार. आयच्या या खाशेल्या कार्यावळीत तुमकां सगळ्याक येवकार. जशें तुम्ही पळोवपाक शकतात, मूड ऑफ द स्टेट हे शब्द म्हजे फाटल्यान बरयल्यात. पूण म्हाका दिसता ही सर्वे करपाच्या काळा भितर आमी खुबश्यो गजाली पळयल्यो, बऱ्यो पळयल्यो, वायट पळयल्यो. आनी सद्याक ह्या सर्वे विशीं इतली उत्सुकता आसा, बरी वायट, इतली स्पेक्युलेशन्स आसात, इतली एलिगेशन्स आसात. म्हाका दिसता आमी हो आमचो 8वो काय 9वो सर्वे आनी इतली सर्वे जातकीर पयली फावट आमी एकदां डिसायड केलें की गोंयकाराक फोन मारून विचारया, कारण कोविडाक लागून तांचे दाराक वचप शक्य ना म्हणून. आनी ताजेर जें रणकंदन जालें तें पळयतकीर म्हाकाय अजाप दिसता. पूण जो डेटा आसा तो डेटा आसा. आनी जशें आमी सदांच सांगलां की वी आर गोइंग टू पुट दॅट डेटा ऑनेस्टली इन टू पब्लीक डोमेन. कांय जाणांक आवडपाक शकता, कांय जाणांक आवडनासतना रावपाक शकता. This data जर आमी पळयलो, either one can be equally happy or one can be equally unhappy. So what is the mood of the state? तो आमी तुमचे मुखार हाडटात. म्हणजे मुखार 4 एक्सपर्टांचे पॅनल आसा. सगळ्यात पयलीं आसात गोंयांतले नामनेचे अदवोगाद आनी एक पॉलिटिकल एनालिस्ट राधाराव ग्रासियस. सर, वेलकम टू द शो. म्हाका संवय आहा तुमकां स्टुडियोक तुमचे बरोबर बसपाची आनी गजाल मारपाची, पण परिस्थिती अशी आयल्या की तुमकां हेडफोन लावन लॅपटॉपा मुखार बशिल्लो पळोवचो पडटा. दुसरी आसात म्हजे बरोबर स्टेट कन्व्हेनर ऑफ पीडीआर भास्कर असोळडेकर सर. सर, वेलकम टू द शो.
थँक्यू.
तुमची डेटा खूप महत्वाचो. तिसरे म्हजे बरोबर आसात डॉक्टर मनोज कामत, मल्लिकार्जुन कॉलेजचे प्रिन्सिपल आणि जे राजकीय आणि आर्थिक या दोन्ही गजालींचेर भरपूर लिखाण करतात. वेलकम. आणि चौथे आणि फाटले कितल्याशाच सर्वे भितर आमकां आदार केला आनी जांकां लागून आमी इतली सर्वे करपाक शकले आणि बरोबर सर्वे करपाक शकले. म्हाका खरेंच मनांतल्यान खंत जाता की ही सर्वे आमी तांचे बरोबर करपाक शकल ना, कारण ह्या कोविडाक लागून. ते प्रोफेसर निलेश बोर्डे गोवा युनिव्हर्सिटीचे. निलेश, वेलकम टू द शो. सो
थँक्यू प्रोफेसर.
हांव सुरवात इतलीच करता लोकांक जस्ट कळपा खातीर. आय विल टेल यू वॉट इज द सॅम्पल सायज. द सॅम्पल सायज जी आमी आशिल्ली ती आमी 1 लाखाच्या वयर लोकांक फोन केले. तातूंतल्यान कांय जाण इरिटेट जाले. आमचोय पयली फावट आशिल्ली, तर आमकांय खुबश्यो गजाली शिकपाक मेळ्ळ्यो. आनी 1 लाख लोकांतल्यान 65,000 लोकांनी हो सर्वे आन्सर केलो, विच इज अ व्हेरी म्हाकाय अजाप जालें की ओवरवेल्मिंग रिस्पॉन्स. आणि बिफोर ऑल नास्टी मेसेजीस स्टार्टेड सर्क्युलेटिंग, पीपल हॅड ऑलरेडी आन्सर्ड दिस सर्वे. So 65,000 people have answered this survey. आणि 6 questions, आम्ही 6 प्रश्न घेऊन तुमच्या मुखार येतात, जे राज्याचो सध्याचो मूड किती आसा ताची तुमकां कल्पना दितले. कोणाक आवडपाक शकता, कोणाक ना आवडपाक शकता. हांव सुरवात करता. पयली आमची जी स्लायड आसा ताजे वेल्यान, जातूंतल्यान तुमकां लक्षांत येतलें. व्हेरी सिंपल बट मोस्ट क्रुशल क्वेश्चन. आणि तो क्वेश्चन म्हळ्यार, आर यू हॅपी विथ दी करंट गव्हर्नमेंट ऑफ गोवा. सो आता तुमच्या ह्या बेसिक क्वेश्चन जो आसा त्या बेसिक क्वेश्चना वेल्यान आमी सुरवात करया आणि मुखार या. किती आहा परिस्थिती. दिस इज द थिंग, व्हेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. आय होप ऑल माय पॅनलिस्ट कॅन सी दिस पाय चार्ट. 65,000 पीपल, बिगेस्ट सॅम्पल सायज एवर. आमी फिजिकली सुद्धा जेन्ना करताले तेन्ना निलेश तुमकां सांगपाक शकतलो की खूप डिफिकल्टी आसताल्यो फिजिकली डोर टू डोर वचपाक. बट दिस इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट सॅम्पल सायज एवर. सो हांव सुरवात निलेश तुजे कडच्यानच करता की वेन यू सी दिस नंबर, फोनाचेर जेन्ना आमी विचारता लोकांक तेन्ना खूब जाण प्रश्न विचारतात, लोकांनी खरें सांगलो मरे काय बेश्टी बटनां दामली का म्हणून. म्हाकाय खबर ना. आता जो डेटा आयला तो आयला. इफ यू सी दिस इनिशियली, what is your assessment if you look at this data? 45% people are saying that they are happy with the current government, whereas 55% people are saying they are not happy with the current government. पण this is not the end of story. मुखार जशें आमी तुमकां आनीक पर्सेंटेज दाखयतले, तुमकां हाजी आनीक खोलायेन विस्कटावणी जातली. निलेश, इनिशियल रिएक्शन आफ्टर लुकिंग एट दिस पर्सेंटेज.
Initial reaction, I think it's 50-50. I'm not sure if it's got overwhelming towards any side, either yes or no. And I think I would look at this more positively in favor of government rather than against government, because in such trying times when a number of people are dying due to COVID, the way the corona has spread, the way people are actually losing out on their employment opportunities, the way the economy is going down, the way the government is continuously borrowing, I thought the result should have got skewed more towards no. And there must have been at least 75% people at least who should have believed that the government is not doing very well. But even in a given situation, I think if the difference is just about 10%, then I think I would like to give that to an error. And so I would say 50-50. And so if in trying times like this, if the public feels that if 50% of the people feel that we'll have to take that, can't do much about it. Yes. And I'm saying this especially because your timing of the survey is loaded.
Yes, timing of the survey is loaded.
Is loaded. Yeah. And in spite of that, you have got this result, which is, I think, the government should be happy.
Magisi पहिली slide जी असा, and I'm telling you, you need to watch this entire broadcast because this is not even part of the story. And there are more interesting things coming forward. I'm telling the viewers, Nilesh, I know you know, but viewers should know that this is just not even the part of the story.
Pramod, I think viewers should also know that none of the panelists is aware about the data. So we are as new to the data as the public who is watching it right now.
Yes.
So as and when the data comes in front of us, we are kind of trying to make sense out of it. Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Manoj, किती initial reaction?
See, 10% असो डिफरन्स असा येस आणि नो भितर. पण स्टॅटिस्टिक्सान किंवा सेफॉलॉजीन किंवा खंयच्याय मूड जेन्ना आमी एसेस करता 10% इज अ बिग डिफरन्स. यू कॅनॉट से 10% इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ एरर. 10% जर व्हडलो डिफरन्स एज पर जर स्टॅटिस्टिक्स जर म्हणटा जाल्यार दिस इज अ डेंजर सायन. कारण करंटली इट इज रिफ्लेक्टिंग वॉट एक्झॅक्टली इज हॅपनिंग इन द स्टेट. आज विदाउट सर्वे सुद्धा जर तुम्ही जर वचत जाल्यार यू नो दॅट द मूड ऑफ द पीपल इज नॉट इन फेवर. कारण there have been various factors which have affected public's lives. म्हणजे in terms of employment opportunities, in terms of mining, in terms of uncertainties with regards to some social issues. तुम्ही जर आज खंयचोय न्यूजपेपर गेल्या 6 महिन्याचे पळयत जाल्यार in number of agitations which are coming up, the amount of uneasiness on all fronts, आणि मेन म्हणजे disappointment with the political machinery. Irrespective it is BJP काय काँग्रेस काय खंयचीय पार्टी जावं, लोकांक एक पद्धतीची चीड आसा. कोविड आणि इकॉनॉमिक जॉब लॉसेस आणि इकॉनॉमिक एन्व्हायरमेंट हॅज क्रिएटेड फर्दर केओस. सो 10% एरराचो बेनिफीट हांव गव्हर्नमेंटाक दिना. ज्या पद्धतीन आमी जे सबंद जे सरकारी कारभार जर पळयला जाल्यार देर इज एन फिलिंग सोशल नाडी जर तुम्ही जर बारीक पद्धतीन जर आयकत जाल्यार ब्युरोक्रेट सरकार चलयता अशें एक प्रकारचे वातावरण इन्फॉर्मल आणि फॉर्मल सेक्टरांत ऑलरेडी आसा. ताचे हे रिफ्लेक्शन अशें म्हाका दिसता. पण फुडें ह्याच्या आणीकूय जर आमकां जर उलोवंक जाय जाल्यार प्रोबेबली वील हॅव टू वेट फॉर फर्दर.
येस एब्सोल्युटली. भास्कर बाब, तुमचे इनिशियल रिएक्शन कितें?
म्हजें रिएक्शन इज स्ट्रेट एंड सिंपल. आय हॅव टू इश्यूज हियर. वन इज हॅपीनेस. हे प्रत्येकाचो स्टेट ऑफ माइंड आसा न्ही, जे आता तुम्ही 1,00,000 लोकांचे जो पळय हें घेतला सर्वे, प्रत्येकाचे डेफिनेशन ऑफ हॅपीनेस इटसेल्फ कुड बी लिटल डिफरंट. And this difference could be absorbed in that kind of difference in thought process. My question is whether the people of Goa are satisfied with the current scenario, considering all the issues which are faced by the world, by India and by Goa. In the light of that, government current dispensation should definitely be very happy if these figures are going to be true. Of course, I can't be talking about BJP or Congress or something because I am bound by my ADR, this thing. So you have already introduced me as the ADR state coordinator, so I can't be taking sides.
So you can go beyond that. I have no problem.
Okay, so I talk as a Goan, like a neutral umpire sitting outside Goa, and with no voting right in Goa, if that is okay with you.
Yes, absolutely.
So, born and brought up in Goa, is Goinkar. See, the issue here is the happiness. If I look at it, I am satisfied. I have a cause of concern today, especially from Corona point of view. But maybe we'll have a question on Corona at that point in time. But I have not seen in any state, including the state in which I live, a chief minister and health minister in the forefront as leading warriors. This is something which I have not seen in any of the other states. I've been in Mumbai. I've been this thing. So now, yes, I mean there can always be a cause of concern. And you may have that question coming up. But म्हाका दिसता if 45% of the people are happy, that means it is possible that 55 to 60% could be satisfied.
Radhabab,
Yes.
yeah. How do you analyze this?
Pramod, I am rather surprised that 45% of the people are happy the way things are. I had expected that the percentage of happiness would be less. But then perhaps people do feel that under the circumstances, the government has done well. In other words, we are in very difficult times nationally, internationally, at the state level. Everything is down. And despite that, people perhaps feel that we are not too badly off. Therefore, 45% of the people are happy. But another reason could be, you see, the BJP is a very well-organized party. They have a cadre who are in touch with their supporters. And knowing that Prudent Media is having a survey, I'm pretty sure that they have spread the word around and they have got their people to say, yes, we are satisfied. That is why there is such a 45% percentage of happiness.
Yeah.
Now, the same thing cannot be said about other political parties because they are all completely disorganized. The Congress hardly exists. Most of the other parties don't exist. So perhaps I would read it as if as a plus point for the BJP organization. They have managed to show such a high percentage of happiness.
Grayson's Overseas, all Goa distributors for Preeti Kitchen Appliances, LG Ultra, Recon Cots, wall clocks, and Bonita. Grayson's Overseas, Natal Araujo Building, San Agustino Morod, Santa Cruz, Goa. You can call us on 9822 164 298.
The very crucial question that if elections are held today, whom will you vote? तो जो chart असा तो आम्ही लास्टाक दवरला. I think that is going to give us all the answers of what we are talking here. I'll move on to the next slide, which is very interesting slide. And the question was very simple question. तातूंत भितर हे काय नाशिल्लें, complicated काय नाशिल्लें, but म्हाका दिसता हातूंतल्यान खूब रिवील जावपाक शकता. आणि तो question, do you trust the politicians of Goa? And here, as all of you can see, when it comes to trust, the percentage that you guys were expecting will go against the government has gone against the political class. तुमकां दिसताले की around 70% लोक सरकाराच्या विरुद्ध वतले, but there is still 72% people are saying they do not trust the politicians of Goa. Interestingly, 28 people still feel that they trust the politicians. Nilesh, I'll again start with you. Very interesting. How do you
Yeah, so I think 28% people agreeing to it can have their own political lineages. So that's a perfectly okay kind of a number. But Pramod, again, let's not misinterpret this. The people do not trust the politicians across the board.
Yes.
It's got nothing to do with the people do not trust the ruling politicians. So let's just get these two things very clear.
Correct.
So it is not necessarily against the government. So that's one. Second thing that we need to look at is, this is a very important thing for some people who want to look at political careers, that people do not trust the existing dispensation of political clan, which simply means that if they are able to offer a solution or a viable option to the existing politicians, there are people who are willing to take it. However, they have to be consistent, perseverant, and they need to be showing the sincerity towards the cause. So this is a question that basically throws up an opportunity for young blood, the young happening blood who wishes to passionately work towards Goa. I'm sure people will cash on to them. But this is not against the government.
But you are saying that there is a vacuum. There is a vacuum in terms of trust. There is a vacuum in terms of credibility. आणि तो व्हॅक्यूम अनेक जर खंयची एंटिटी कन्सिस्टंटली डॉगेडली जर परस्यू करता जाल्यार देर इज अ स्पेस टू कॅप्चर.
Right. So unfortunately, Pramod, I will fall back on movies. So there is a very beautiful Malayalam film called Lucifer, in which Mohanlal says something very beautiful. He says, today the war is not between the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Today the war is between the evil and the lesser evil. Yeah. So we all accept the fact that what exists today is evil.
Yeah.
It is just between evil and the lesser evil. Yeah. So if there is somebody who comes and gives a good option, I'm sure people will go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Manoj?
Yes, I perfectly agree. See, 28% people believing in the politicians of Goa. It talks about the system. See, finally, we cannot say that we don't trust politicians. Politicians are political administrators. They are your policy makers. Your fate, whether good or bad, is dependent on them. Finally, the electorate elects them. So when you say that I don't trust, so then this particular trust deficit would be everywhere in the world. So therefore, let us not go in deep in this particular slide because it doesn't reflect the political situation and the aspirations of people or the preference of the people today. This particular question asked anywhere in the part of the country, you would get similar results.
Similar result.
You would get similar responses.
Yeah. Bhaskar Bab, quickly on this, then we can move on to more.
I endorse the views of Professor Nilesh and Dr. Kamath. This is actually a mutually exclusive question which is asked. It has not really anything to do with the current dispensation and the kind of this thing which is there, because this is about overall politicians at large in Goa. And over the years, there has been a deterioration. And if you permit me to say that from the first election that we had in January of sworn in January of 1964 till today, there has been a steady deterioration in the quality of the representatives that we have. Today, we have 38 out of 40 as businessmen by profession. In their affidavit, they say that they are businessmen. Their spouses are also businessmen. If you go back to 1964 January, you had 3 to 4 advocates, 3 to 4 doctors, 4 5 farmers, teachers, etc. So they were true representatives of the population of Goa.
Yeah. Radhabab, don't tell me you are disappointed that still there are 28% people who trust the politicians.
No. In fact, I am surprised. You see what happens, Pramod?
Yeah.
These 72% who don't trust politicians are the dishonest people of Goa. I will tell you why.
Okay.
You see, blaming the politician is the easiest way out. See, politicians are not elected for life. They are elected for 5 years. You look at the Goan MLAs, each one or almost every other fellow is elected and re-elected and re-elected. Now, if these 72% are dishonest, why do you re-elect them? You are responsible, man. The electorate is responsible for getting dishonest politicians, for getting politicians with whom you are unsatisfied. So I would therefore say that unless the voter himself becomes honest, the politician will always be dishonest. Let the voter first exercise his vote honestly. As someone who has contested elections, as someone who has won elections and someone who has lost elections, I will reiterate that the Indian voter, the Goan voter is totally dishonest. And everything flows from the dishonesty of the voter. I know what it means to be an MLA. I've been an MLA. Morning there are people at your doorstep. Evening there are people at your doorstep demanding money. Where do I pay it from? And this is happening with every politician. You can't simply blame the politicians. They want everything hand delivered. When you are contesting elections, there are people demanding money even. And then you expect honest politicians? Let the voter first introspect. Let the voter first be honest himself. Then you'll get honest politicians. Otherwise, this 72% may go to 100% also. Yeah. I don't blame the politicians. No, it's easy way of blaming politicians.
Okay, I'll go to a very, very crucial next slide, which might have correlation with the first one. This is important. Is the government of Goa doing a good job in managing the corona crisis? And hanga poya tumi 42% are feeling that government is doing a good job. 58% are saying that the government is doing a bad job. So ratio jar पहिलो this number correlates with the first number, which we on the whether they are happy with the government. Nilesh, how do you look at it? Is it that जसे राधा बाबान सांगले की बीजेपीचो स्वतःचो जो एक वोट शेअर असा, बीजेपीचो स्वतःचो जो एक सपोर्ट बेस असा, that support base is still pitching for the
No. I mean, statistically, I don't think I would agree to Radharav Bab for the simple reason that your survey has been random. So it's not that you've only surveyed BJP loyalists or BJP supporting people. So there are general public in this, which will obviously have people who do not. Number one, as well as question number 3, is in such negative environment. You know, the environment is everybody, including what Manoj Bab said. Whether you look at press, you talk to general public in this, the atmosphere of the emotion is so negative. What is surprising in spite of that, 42% people feel that government is fighting very well with Corona. Now, I think, there's one more thing that could probably support government here, where the CM has got infected with COVID-19. Which simply shows that that man is in forefront and did not bother about his own life. So, for example, look at Maharashtra state. The chief minister is not touched. He will never get a corona. I mean, Bhaskar sir might probably agree or disagree. I'm not sure about that. But look at Maharashtra chief minister. He's hell hearty and fine. It is Goan chief minister who has probably fought the whole thing right in the middle. People feel very sympathetic towards that. And so therefore, if you notice, in an overwhelmingly negative environment, 42% people feel that government is doing good job for COVID. I think it's creditable. I mean, I would interpret it like that. Because like I said, even whether it was question 1 or question 3, it should have been very highly skewed towards negativity. But that has not happened, and that is where the success of this government comes in.
मनोज कितें दिसता की जो मुद्दो काडिल्लो की एक मिनट लोकांक बीजेपीची जी बेज आसा, that base is still rooting for BJP because they know situation is very dire, they know situation is quite precarious, they are still rooting for BJP. When the call went to them, they decided they are going to stand with their party.
I don't see this as an BJP or an Congress issue or an BJP cadre based issue. But if you just look at it, BJP has the highest number of political members. म्हणजे BJP ची पार्टीची मेंबरशिप असा in Goa, it is highest. पण सगळी जर तांची पार्टी मेंबरशिप जर तुम्ही एकत्र केली आणि तांका मिळिल्ले वोट जर एकत्र केले जाल्यार you come to an conclusion that the members also don't vote. नाजाल्यार they would have won it sweepingly. If you look at the political situation today, out of 40 MLAs, this ruling government, ruling dispensation has support of close to 32. म्हणजे directly, indirectly, tacit, हे सगळे almost 32 to 35 लोक एकत्र आसा. तर ताचे एक reflection. But in terms of management of COVID, we have to say that comparatively or relatively compared to other states, we have fairly done a good job. That has to be accepted. And irrespective of whatever political aspirations a person could have or political philosophy each one may have, that this government, given the kind of constraints, when we have no revenues, we have nothing else to do. And तरी सुद्धा आमचे we have been able to control to a greater extent. प्रॉब्लेम जो दिसता तो कन्फ्युजन दिसता. म्हणजे हेल्थ मिनिस्टर आणि चीफ मिनिस्टराचे एफर्ट्स कोऑर्डिनेटेड दिसना, and that is what people are perceiving. So in terms of
nobody is doubting the intention.
Correct.
The issues can be administrative.
Absolutely. The issue is not only administrative, there are minor issues as well, which is making the view myopic. म्हणजे कसं, जो डेटा सध्या जो कोविडाचो रिलीज करता हो जर तुम्ही सुद्धा जर पळयत जाल्यार तातून सुद्धा जे डेफिशियन्सीज आणि असा डिफरन्सीस ते ग्लॅरिंग असा. म्हणजे there seems to be a lot of hide and seek even in the data. कालचोच डेटा पळय, close to 160 to 170 चा डिफरन्सच काय तुमका मिळना. See, you have the total number of tests taken, you have total number of negatives, total number of positives. Yes, negatives, positives plus awaited जर add करत जाल्यार it must add up to the total number of samples taken. Even that particular glaring हे जेन्ना differences जेन्ना दिसता, जेन्ना total confusion दिसता, तेन्ना in spite of your good intentions, your actions are not seen worthy enough to curtail the problem.
भास्कर बाब, तुम्ही कशी पळयतात मुंबई बसून you have gone through the phase ज्या फेजींतल्यान आमी सध्या वतात. सो मुंबई बसून जेन्ना गोंयकार म्हणटा अशें 42% आर हॅपी, सो तुमकां हे हॅपी खरें दिसता काय हे हॅपी फट दिसता?
I wish I was in Goa.
Okay.
That answers all.
You are in an utopia. Yeah. Now I'll tell you why I'm feeling this way. this is not criticism of Maharashtra government because I'm scared someone can walk into I choose my words, but I'll tell you the fact. The fact is today it takes about, for every bed which is there in the hospitals, there could be 10 claimants. Is as high as that, okay? This one. Yes, I mean, like some critics of Goa government or the Goan establishment, again, I don't want to get into the political part of it, but could well say that in the month of April, that both the district, North Goa and South Goa, were in green zone. And from green zone, today we are at the third highest mortality rate per million, some 160 deaths per million in Goa, as the last count yesterday. Vis-a-vis, of course, Maharashtra still stands highest. But still, this is what has happened. Now, Goans need to do self-introspection. If we were in green zone 4-5 months back, why are we in this situation? Is it only to be attributed to politicians and political system and the establishment? Perhaps not. I'm answering this thing. So, yes, these kind of things have happened. Now, since these things have happened and the numbers are exponential, perhaps in hindsight, we can say today, oh, we needed more ventilators, we needed more oxygen cylinders, we needed portable ventilators to, have them in ambulances so that the people's lives can be saved. Yes, for sure. It could be done. But whether to be mentally prepared to accept that we would have this many cases, 22 or 25,000 cases in a population of 15 lakhs, was certainly not expected by perhaps even a rocket scientist would not have been able to do that. So in this kind of situation, considering all this thing and the limitations, government is doing pretty well compared to the other states, and I can say it for certainty.
Radhabab?
Yes, no, it appears, Pramod, that generally the people feel that under the circumstances, it's a problem the world over, that Goa government is not doing too badly. See, 42% feel they are happy with it. I don't think I can say much on that because it is individual happiness and it is about a particular sickness. So not many people are worried about their health, it appears. So that's it. I can't say much on that.
ओके आयचो आमचो जो भाग आसा तो इतल्याचेर थांबता. फाल्यां 2 महत्वाचे प्रश्न आसात आनी ते महत्वाचे प्रश्न म्हळ्यार which party do you find most honest in Goa? आणि ताजे उपरांतचो सगळ्यात महत्वाचो प्रश्न, इफ इलेक्शन्स आर हेल्ड टुडे, which party would you vote for? म्हाका खबर आहा सगळे जाण सगळे गजाली आजूच पळोवपाक राविल्ले, पण आमकांय दिसता की इतले दीस ह्या सर्वेचेर खूब सस्पेन्स चल्ले, खूब व्हॉट्सएप मेसेजी फॉरवर्ड जाल्यो, फेसबुकाचेर डिबेट्स जाली, स्पेक्युलेशन्स जाली, एलिगेशन्स जाली. आय कॅन लिव्ह विथ इट फॉर 1 more डे. सो आय थँक ऑल माय पॅनलिस्ट. कारण पयलीं आयज भाग पळयतकीर तुमकां लक्षांत आयलें आसतलें की जी स्पेक्युलेशन्स, जी एलिगेशन्स गजाली चलताल्यो तातूंत भितर कितली तथ्य आसा आनी कितली तथ्य ना तें. पूण एक गजाल सांगता, फाल्यांचे 2 प्रश्न जे आसात विल डिटरमायन द फ्युचर ऑफ नेक्स्ट इलेक्शन. आनी तातूंतल्यान प्रत्येक पक्षाक शिकपाक मेळटलें कितें करचें न्ही तें. आता तातूंत एक गजाल जावपाक शकता, प्रत्येक पक्ष आमचेर टिका करपाक शकता की आमी सर्वे केला आनी हो नंबर कित्याक दिले, और त्या नंबरांतल्यान शिकपाक शकता आनी सुदारपाक शकता. कितें जातलें फाल्यां कळटलें. हांव इतल्याचेर थांबता. 2 of the most crucial questions are for tomorrow. पळयत रावात प्रुडंट. नमस्कार. आय थँक ऑल माय पॅनलिस्ट. दे विल बी जॉयनिंग अस टुमॉरो अगेन. देव बरें करूं.
Thank you.
This program was brought to you by Graysons Overseas.